media, and development partners. And basically, it's to support a peaceful electoral process. Throughout today's discussion, we will examine emerging electoral risk, review preparedness effort, reaffirm our collective commitment, and identify practical actions that could help us prevent violence before, during, and after the elections. Before we proceed, please, I need to do this. Permit me to make some very important observation that will guide our engagement today. Firstly, today's summit is not a political debate. It is a collective conversation about protecting life, safeguarding democratic process, and of course, strengthening public confidence. Secondly, is to say that every institution here have a role to play. So we must respect all stakeholders and each other's opinion. The summit is not a campaign event. We therefore request that there should be no campaign speeches, slogans, political chants, or distribution of campaign materials whatsoever. No sharing or chanting, like I said. Please let us avoid any form of partisan display, and of course, let us respect time. Please, this is very important. And also, please, let's allow each of the speakers, so far they have the microphone to speak. I know we're going to be civil today, so no booing. And of course, please, the media personnel or the media houses, please let us also be orderly and minimize movement so that we're not distracted. Photographers, please also do well to ensure you're not blocking the sight of any individuals. We have ensured security arrangement in place so that every one of us feels so secure. And even right inside the room, we even have we feel secure also right inside the room. Because as it stands here, we have
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Osun State. We are here live at the Kimpact Development Initiative Summit. We're at Aurora Event Center, where Kimpact Initiative is holding an election, peace, and security summit. This summit brings together different stakeholders to look at safeguarding the 2026 Osun governorship election. We have here already seated candidates from various political parties contesting in the governorship election, as well as the Nigerian police, the service chiefs. We have monarchs also seated, monarchs from across the state. We have security agencies, religious leaders, among many others. Again, this summit is looking at the theme, safeguarding the 2026 Osun governorship election, stakeholders' commitment to peace and security. The conversation will look at guarding against electoral violence before, during, and after the election, and overall the successful outing of the Osun governorship election for the year 2026. My name is Lydia Adegbaju. I'll leave you to join the conversation as it unfolds. Do stay tuned.
Oba Adeyeye Enito Ogunwusi Ojaja to CFR, the Oni of Ife, ably represented by His Royal Highness Oba Adekunle Adebowale Agbolu of Agbaje Ife. Thank you, sir, for coming. Please, if you were clapping, please let's do it better. Thank you so much. His Royal Majesty Oba Adedokun Omoniyi Abolarin Aroyinkeye I, the Orogun of Okela, and the chairman of the Osun State Peace Mediation Working Committee. You're welcome, sir. And also His Royal Majesty Oba Dr. Akim Ogunbangbe, the Ajagunsi Ekun of Iloko Jesha. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Also, I want to recognize the presence of the resident electoral commissioner of INEC Osun State, Mrs. Oluwatoyin O. Babalola, Esquire. Also to recognize the presence of DIG Umar Shehu Nadada MNI, the DG Operations from the Force Headquarters Abuja, AIG Fashuba Akinyele PSE, AIG representing AIG from Zone 11. And of course, also to recognize the presence of the Commissioner of Police, Osun State Command, CP Ibrahim Gota, MNIPS. The Commissioner of Police, you're welcome. Thank you for coming. And also to recognize the presence of the State Director of the Department of State Services, the State Director, Mr. O. Edet. Also Brigadier General S.S. Bello, the Commander, Engineering Construction Command, Ede Barracks. Also to recognize the presence of Commandant Shotio Igbalawole Emmanuel, the State Commandant, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, Osun State. Also to recognize the presence of Reverend Dr. John Adegboyega Adeleke, Osun Khan Chairman, also Imam Abdusalam Akinwusi, the Fakaro Ulama of Oshogoland, and the SA to the Grand Imam Osun State representing the Grand Imam. I also want to welcome High Priest Fayemi Elebubo, the Araba Onisheshe of Oshogoland. Daddy, you're welcome. Also to welcome the NUJ Chairman, Dr. Adeyemi Aboderin. Also to welcome the Chairman NYSCN, Osun State, Akimbode Ola Kolupo Olusegun. Also to welcome all representatives of Transport Union, Market Association, Organized Civil Society, representative of youth organization, student body, development partners, and of course, all other people also in the room, members of the media, and of course, I welcome every one of us, ladies and gentlemen. At this point, we will proceed to the official opening of today's summit. And our next section, it's specifically going to be the welcome remarks. The address will formally open the summit, set the context for our discussion, and highlight the importance of the collective action. Please join me. Please, if your hands are not too busy, please join me welcome His Royal Majesty Oba Adedokun Omoniyi Abolari Aroyinkeye I, the Orogun of Okela, and the chairman of the Osun State Peace and Mediation Working Committee to deliver the welcome remarks. Please do it better until he gets to this podium. Please do it better until he gets to the podium. Thank you, thank you. Please keep doing it, keep doing it.
It's a great honor to welcome all our guests here, most especially the DIG, the AIG, the Commissioner of Police, the State Electoral Commissioner, Baba, Our Imperial Majesty, Oba Eniton Ogunwusi Ojaja II, ably represented by Kabiyesi Agbowu, Kabiyesi Owaloko, those from the security services and other agencies of government that has to do with the state of Osun. We are expecting our great men and women, the contestants, and their representatives. But we know that they'll show up here. Nation building is not a thing you get done overnight. Nation building is a process. And all of us must be active participants in creating a prosperous nation, either present in order to build a future. As a Yoruba traditional ruler, and as Yoruba traditional ruler, we are expected to be apolitical. It is part of the stool, part of the trust placed on us to stand above party lines and hold the community together. Yet, I will be honest, it pains me to absolve myself from rights so fundamentally enshrined in the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. I do not have a voter's card. I do not even know what it looks like. But the political scientist and the lawyer in me still sees. And what I see in our polity is not too good. We are still parochial in our political thoughts and actions in Osun State, and mostly in Nigeria. We are rural in outlook, narrow in tolerance, and not yet politically sophisticated. We fight over trivial things. We tear down each other's billboards. Our tolerance level is frightening, frighteningly low. We kill all in the name of politics, and hardly do we learn from history. I am not Gabriel Halmond, the great theorist of political culture. But I know this, a people cannot build a future on bitterness, on the politics of destruction, on the belief that to win, the other must be crushed. What must be done in the interest of our future? And that's why we are here. Educate for politics, not for war. Politics should be about ideas, about service, about who can best improve the lives of our people, our schools, our families, and our palaces must teach our children that disagreement is not enmity, and that an opponent is not an enemy. 2, raise our tolerance. A mature democracy breathes through tolerance. If we cannot endure another's poster, how shall we endure another's view? If we cannot share a street during campaign, how shall we share a government after election? 3rd, make politics issue-based. Let us argue about roads, about schools, about jobs, about the price of food. Let the billboards carry solutions, not insults. Let the rallies speak to the future, not to the old wounds. 4, learn from history. Our fathers fought for self-rule, for development, for dignity. Occasionally, they shed blood over party colors. We experienced Operation Wet here in 1965 and the military coup of 1966. 60 years is long enough to learn. The past must be our teacher, not our prison. Let the elders and the youths lead differently. the reason why we are here. Osun deserves better. Nigeria deserves better. We are capable of politics that builds, not destroys. Politics that unites and not divides. May we find the courage to grow beyond parochialism and the wisdom to govern ourselves with maturity. To the KDI, we've met severally to organize this beautiful program. I commend that all stakeholders must think of the future. Where do we want Osun State to be in the foreseeable future? The present determines the future, and history is documenting the participation of each and every one of us on what is going to happen August 15. 30 years from now, 50 years from now, history will adequately record what the principal actors, what they have been able to do, either positively or negatively. May the good Lord continue to bless Osun State, and may the Federal Republic of Nigeria be the #1 undisputed country in Africa and one of the very best in the world. You are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, Your Royal Majesty, for the thoughtful and inspiring remarks. Right before we continue, I just want to let all of us in the hall know that this event is live on Channels Television and also on Rave FM and also on Western Spring Television. So please, as much as possible, please let's minimize movement. I can see somebody. Please, let's minimize movement, please. Please, while the remark was ongoing, we are also graced with the presence of the National Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Joash Ojo Amukwito, SAN, ably represented by Professor Kunle Ajayi. Prof, you're welcome. Thank you for coming. Please, a round of applause for Prof, please. And also, I want to recognize the presence of our partner that has also been supporting Kimpact Development Initiative on the electoral violence prevention, electoral security efforts to ensure that we are also able to do all of this for the period of times. Please, I want to welcome also to the hall, please, a round of applause for Dr. Matthew Ayibakuro, the Governor's Advisor of UK Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office. Thank you, Doctor, for coming. Also with him is Mr. Wale Adebajo from the Lagos British High Commission. All right, thank you so much. I want to welcome also the representative of Olufon of Ifon. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir, for coming. I Chief Oladejo Amo Bashorun of Ifon Osun. I Chief Fashakin Moruf Oyegoke, Arranger of Ifon Orolu. I Chief Olayiwola Mufutau Olupomu of Ifon Osun. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Straight, we'll move into the goodwill message. Please, if your hands are not too busy, please join me. Welcome, Imperial Majesty Obadeyeye Enito Ogunwusi Ojaja to CFR, ably represented by His Royal Highness Oba Adekunle Adebowale Agbolu of Agbaje Ife for a goodwill message. Please, a round of applause for him. Kabiyesi.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I greet my governor, Governor Adeleke. All the service chiefs present, I greet you. My Oba, Orogun Okela, you are welcome, sir. With this, I stand on the existing protocol. His Imperial Majesty, the Ooni of Ife, wanted to come here, but on Friday, he received a message from Abuja to come urgently for sort of a meeting there. That is why he couldn't make it today. So he sent to me that I should please come and represent him here. My name is Oba Adekunle Adebowale, the Agbolu of Agbaje Ile Ife. On this summit, Imperial Majesty said I should appeal to all our party members to please be peaceful before, during, and after the elections. They should avoid action in any form that could tarnish the image of Osun State. He said politics should not be seen as a do or die affairs. He said, after all, our former president, General Buhari, contested more than 30 times before he won. And he didn't, he made it after and became the president of this country. So we need to emulate, he said, we need to emulate the white people in UK and America, the way they behave during their own elections. They don't fight, they don't run after each other, they don't kill. He said we need to emulate them, that we should not turn Osun State to the former wide west. He said destroy of banners of the opponent party is very bad. If you want to place your own banner, you can place it beside the other one and continue your own campaign. Nobody will disturb you. You should not do it to destroy others. He said politics is not to destroy others, that we should. He said we don't want wahala problem in Osun State. People should please go about their voting without any humiliation. Then he said I should thank the police for what they have been doing, that everything has been orderly, that they should please keep it up. And he told me that I should tell the parents to please warn their wards and children not to become thugs following the politicians around. They should not be the talk of politicians, that they should be warned by their parents. Then he asked me to thank everybody and those people that planned this event, that they should be thanked. So he said I should thank them for making this thing possible. So after, he said I should greet the governor and everybody here, that whenever he comes, that he has been appealing to people without all these things, without planning it like this, that he has been doing his own work on his own, telling people to please be orderly. He said in the politics, there's no permanent friends and no permanent enemy. So with all this, I thank you all for listening. Thank you very much. Eh? Yes. Sorry, Baba Waloko, I greet you also. Sorry.
Thank you, sir. That was the message from the Oni of Ife to everyone here. To move on, I want to introduce one of the candidates for the governorship in Osun State to us, in person of Mr. Olajide Eso, the African Action Congress governorship candidate. And with him is his deputy, Mr. Bello Muhyiddin. You are welcome. Yeah, moving on, I'm going to call the DIG operatives, DIG Umar Shehu Nadada, from the first headquarters Abuja for his goodwill message. And while he's coming, please put your hands together for him as he comes.
His Imperial Majesty, over there, Babatunde Niton CFR ably represented. His Royal Majesty, over there, Kunomoni Avolarin, Chairman, Osun State Peace Mediation Working Committee, the AIG in charge of Zone 11 Oshogbo, the Commissioner of Police, permit me to stand on the already established protocol. It is with great honor and deep sense of responsibility that I convey my goodwill message at this important Peace and Security Summit, convened ahead of the forthcoming Osun governorship election. First, let me commend the organizers for bringing together key stakeholders to deliberate on issues that are fundamental to the successful conduct of a peaceful, credible, fair, and secure election. The summit demonstrates our collective effort to strengthen democratic governance through dialogue, collaboration, and proactive engagement. As we approach another significant electoral exercise, it is crucial that all stakeholders reaffirm their commitment to the principles of democracy, the rule of law, peaceful coexistence, and the respect for the sanctity of the electoral process. Elections should not be seen and should not be viewed as a contest to be won at all costs, but rather as a democratic process through which the sovereign will of the people is freely expressed. The Nigeria Police, in collaboration with sister security agencies, remain fully committed to its constitutional mandate of protecting lives and property, preserving public peace, maintaining law and order, and providing secure environment that enables all eligible voters and indigents to exercise their constitutional rights to vote freely without intimidation, fear, or coercion. In fulfillment of this responsibility, the police will continue to discharge its duties with professionalism, impartiality, fairness, and strict adherence to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and other extant laws. Our professional engagements will remain intelligence-driven, people-centered, and firmly anchored on respect for the rule of law and the protection of fundamental rights of all indigents and citizens. The objectives of this summit are both timely and commendable. Promoting peaceful electoral participation, strengthening coordination among electoral stakeholders, identifying and addressing emerging security concerns, and fostering collective strategies for preventing and mitigating election-related violence are vital components of a successful electoral process. No single institution can achieve these objectives alone. They require sustained cooperation, mutual trust, and effective coordination among all stakeholders. I therefore urge political parties, candidates, and their supporters to conduct their campaigns and political activities responsibly by avoiding inflammatory rhetoric, hate speech, misinformation, acts of provocation, and every form of violence capable of undermining public peace. Electoral victory should never come at the expense of human lives, public safety, or the unity of our communities. The Nigeria police is not unmindful of recent security incidents recorded within the state. Let me assure law-abiding citizens that the police, in collaboration with other security agencies, will not tolerate any act of undermining public peace or disrupt electoral process. Any individual or group found engaging in violence, intimidation, vote buying, destruction of electoral materials, or any other electoral offense will be dealt with strictly in accordance with the provision of the law, irrespective of political affiliation or status. Similarly, I encourage traditional rulers, religious leaders, community influencers, youths, and women groups, civil society organizations, and the media to continue serving as advocates for peace by promoting dialogue, responsible civic engagement, and issue-based political participation. Their influence remains indispensable in fostering tolerance, building public confidence, and discouraging actions capable of threatening the peaceful conduct of the election. I also call on members of the public to remain law-abiding, cooperate with security agencies, promptly report suspicious activities through established channels, and resist any attempt by unscrupulous individuals to incite violence or disrupt the electoral process. Distinguished participants, experience has shown that effective election security is best achieved through early planning, robust interagency cooperation, timely intelligence sharing, continuous stakeholder engagement, and coordinated operational responses. It is my expectation that the deliberation at this summit will produce practical, actionable, and implementable recommendations that will further strengthen our collective preparedness for the forthcoming election. As the election draws nearer, let us remain united in our shared determination to ensure that Osun State continues to serve as a model of peaceful democratic participation. The responsibility of a peaceful election rests with all of us, and history will judge us by the commitment we demonstrate today in safeguarding our democracy. I reaffirm our unwavering commitment to working with all relevant stakeholders to guarantee peaceful, secure, credible, transparent election process before, during, and after Osun governorship election. Once again, I commend the organizers of this summit and appreciate every participant for your dedication to the cause of peace, security, and democratic consolidation in our federation. Thank you for your attention, and may God bless Osun State and the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as I wish us a fruitful deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you, DIG, for the goodwill from the police force. What is important is that election security is a shared responsibility, which is very important. We shouldn't forget that the purpose for the summit is to actually have a shared commitment towards peaceful election, all major stakeholders. Also to say that we, as Impact Development Initiative, also sent letter and invited every of the major stakeholders that we know related and relevant to elections, including all of the candidates. And we got words from them that they will be here. I want to welcome His Excellency Governor Ademola Adeleke, ably represented by Dr. B. Odunlade, Commissioner of Political Affairs and Intergovernmental Relations. His Excellency, thank you and welcome. Also, to recognize and welcome to the podium for a goodwill message, Brigadier General S.S. Bello, the Commander Engineering Construction Command, Ede, represented by Lieutenant Colonel Y.H. Isiako. Please do it better, please do it better, please do it better, please do it better. Yes.
The resident electoral commissioner, the executive governor of Osun State, ably represented, the DIG, Commissioner of Police, Osun State, Head of Security Services, and their representatives, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am Lieutenant Colonel Y.H. Isiaku, ably representing my Commander Engineer Construction Command, Brigadier General S.S. Bello, who is unavoidably absent due to health issues. He asked me to come and represent him in this summit. And I'm here to read his goodwill message to the summit. So wherever I say I am referring to the Commander Engineer Construction Command, Ede, Brigadier General S.S. Bello. I am delighted to convey this goodwill message on the occasion of Osun State Election, Peace and Security Summit, which is convened as part of ongoing effort to promote peaceful electoral practice, strengthening collaboration among critical stakeholders, identifying and addressing emerging security concerns to foster collective strategies for preventing and mitigating election-related conflict in Osun State ahead of the governorship election. This event will definitely provide a platform for dialogue and engagement, while also securing stakeholders' commitment to joint actions towards sustaining peace, security, and democratic stability in the state. For every stakeholder, a clear understanding of one's service trajectory is fundamental to the maintaining high morale, unwavering focus, and demonstration of consistent professionality before, during, and after the state election. The synergy required amongst the stakeholders in this election defines professional excellence, which is the first pillar of our Chief of Army Staff command philosophy. It is against this backdrop that our required collaboration has been organized to provide the clarity and guidance necessary for every service personnel to navigate their actions with purpose, foresight, and distinction. As the 2026 Osun State governorship election is approaching, the various security agents in the state are fully aware of their mandates to ensure protection of the INEC officials, electorate, and in general, lives and properties of the citizens, while ensuring free, fair, credible, inclusive, and transparent election that accurately reflects the will of the people of Osun State. The contemporary security environment of Osun State demands a high and collaborative effort that is not only physically fit and tactically proficient, but also intellectually prepared and administratively sound. It is obvious that the objective of the stakeholders' engagement with members of Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security is to enable us to drive practical understanding of the volatile environment and management of best action and reactions towards unfolding events for possible adoption and application to enhance free and fair election. I encourage all of us to create an atmosphere of robust intellectual exchange to drive home the objective of this summit. I therefore urge us to leverage on the opportunity to learn and seek clarifications in areas impacting our joint effort, which will also assist us in planning for a fulfilled Osun State peaceful election. On this note, I thank the resident electoral commissioner, INEC, Osun State, Mrs. Oluwatoyin Babalola, for her consistent resilience, foresight, and direction in this regard. I also appreciate the Commissioner of Police and heads of other security agents for their tireless effort in ensuring that the state election process remains transparent, merit-driven, and aligns with global best practices. As the saying goes, the best way to predict the future is to create it. It is my pleasure to once again welcome you all to this summit. I wish you all.
The resident electoral commissioner, Cabeces, the IG, ably represented by the DIG operations, all other service chiefs here present. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning everyone. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning everyone of the commission. That the forthcoming governorship election in Osun State, slated for August 15, 2026, that the election will be very, very transparent, will be very free, will be very fair, will be credible, will be inclusive, and finally, it will be conclusive. People are not emphasizing the last one. If it is not conclusive, it is a problem. But we are assuring you as a commission that the election will be conclusive by the grace of God. Again, I'm here to assure you that the will of the people of Osun State shall prevail. INEC doesn't vote. INEC has no political parties. We do not belong to any political party. We do not support any party or any candidate in any election. We only declare the results of elections as voted by the people. The will of the people is what we announce to the people. Therefore, I'm assuring you that the will of Osun people shall prevail in the election. I'm appealing to our honored KBSs that we will need your assistance, KBS, in mobilizing the electorate to come out in large numbers that day. We do not want to witness a low turnout. Osun has registered more than 2 million voters. We want, if possible, 2 million people should come out, voters should come out that day. And we know that with the intervention of our honored KBSs, who are the grassroots, we rely on your intervention to help us mobilize the people to come out en masse that day. The security forces are on ground to assure our safety, because most people, they will say that because of insecurity, they won't come out. No. The security forces are on top of the game, and they will adequately provide enabling environment for us to come out en masse that day. I want to use this opportunity to specifically appeal to our youths. 60% of voters in Osun State are youths. 60%. They are youths. But we don't want a situation where our youth will convert August 15 to a premiership date. No. Many of them will be on the field, on the road playing. No. Please, the youth of Osun State, we are appealing to you. Spare that one single day. Go to the polls. Exercise your voting right for that day, so that at the end of the day, you can claim that this is our government. Whichever person is elected, you will claim this is our government. So I'm appealing to you, sir, our youth, to please come out en masse that day. The Honorable Rec of Osun State is on ground, who will provide us, who will do adequate justice to all the details that we need to know about our preparations for the election. Lastly, once again, I sincerely thank our development partners, the KDI. I sincerely thank you for organizing this very important summit. I thank you all for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Please, a round of applause. Please do it better. Thank you so much, Prof, for the message from the INEC chairman. For the next 2 minutes, of course, maybe to 3, we will be hearing also from hard development partners, and that is the UK Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO. Please join me. Welcome Dr. Matthew Ayibakuro, the Governor's Advisor for FCDO. Please, a round of applause for him, please. Please do it better. Please do it better. Thank you so much.
Your Excellencies, our traditional fathers here present, religious leaders, our security agencies, the Independent National Electoral Commission, civil society, and other stakeholders in the room. For the sake of time, please permit me to adopt the protocol already established. It's a real pleasure to join you today on behalf of the British High Commission at this important peace and security summit ahead of the governorship election in this land of virtue. I am a governance advisor at the British High Commission, as Femi mentioned, and I lead the UK's work in support of democratic governance in Nigeria. This includes our work supporting INEC, supporting the National Assembly, the judiciary, security agencies, and other democratic institutions. I'm here with my colleague, Wale, who is our senior political advisor covering the Southwest, including Osun State. To be honest, really in his domain, so I'm grateful he's letting me speak on behalf of the team. I want to begin by commending the government of Osun State. I want to commend INEC, the security agencies, and all the other stakeholders in the room who have contributed to convening this dialogue, and also demonstrated very admirable goodwill by being here in person today. The broad range of stakeholders in the room today reflects a very important fact, that peaceful, credible, and inclusive elections are often a shared responsibility. No single institution can deliver this on their own. They depend on the collective commitment of those entrusted with safeguarding democracy in Osun State for the present and also for the future of the state. The importance of this summit extends beyond just the forthcoming election in Osun State. In Nigeria, as is often the case elsewhere, off-cycle elections increasingly serve as important indicators of the health of a country's democratic system and offers opportunities to build confidence ahead of future elections. The Osun election comes at a particularly significant moment as stakeholders across Nigeria begin to look towards the 2027 general elections and to also reflect on lessons from previous elections, particularly the recent poll in Ekiti State. At its very core, democracy depends on public trust. Citizens must be confident that elections are conducted fairly, that their votes count, and that the outcome reflects the will of the people. That confidence is strengthened when electoral competition is peaceful, when political actors conduct themselves responsibly, and when security agencies act professionally and impartially, so that citizens are able to participate in the elections without fear or intimidation. This is why the theme of today's summit is very significant. Electoral violence does not just threaten the lives of people and their property, it undermines democratic legitimacy. It discourages participation and weakens public confidence in democratic institutions in any country. By contrast, and by equal measure, peaceful elections create the conditions for genuine political competition, meaningful citizen participation, and ultimate acceptance of electoral outcomes. This is why the United Kingdom is really happy to be extending its partnership to this program today. We are glad to be a long-standing partner of Nigeria's democratic journey. Our support over many years reflects our shared belief that democratic institutions are essential for stability, prosperity, and inclusive development. We have worked alongside Nigeria's institutions and civil society because we recognize that democracy is not a single event, but it's a continuous process of strengthening institutions, promoting accountability, and building public trust. As we look ahead to the elections in Osun State, I would like to offer just 3 quick reflections from our perspective. Firstly, is the fact that the responsibility for peaceful elections belongs to everybody in the room here today. Political parties and candidates play a very important role in setting the tone for every campaign. The ability of political leaders to place the interests of citizens and democratic stability above their short-term political advantage will be a critical determinant of the success of this election. Secondly, institutions matter. The professionalism and impartiality of INEC, security agencies, the judiciary, and the media are all essential to maintaining confidence in an electoral process. Democratic progress depends not only on the elections themselves, but on the strength of the institutions that underpin these elections. My third point is on inclusion. Democracy is strongest when all citizens feel able to participate equally. Women, young people, people with disabilities, and other marginalized groups must be able to engage fully and safely throughout the electoral process. The legitimacy of democratic outcomes is enhanced when elections reflect the voices and aspirations of the entire population, not just the most powerful, the most capable, or even the most visible. Ladies and gentlemen, the choice made in Osun State over the next month will resonate far beyond the election alone. They will help shape public confidence ahead of the 2027 elections. They will send important signals about elections and election competition can be managed peacefully in Nigeria, and they will contribute to the country's broader
Commission Osun. While INEC is constitutionally mandated to organize, undertake, and supervise election, the success of the election is a collective responsibility. And central to this responsibility is the indispensable role of the security agencies, whose professionalism, neutrality, vigilance, and collaboration provide secure environment necessary for citizens to freely exercise their democratic rights. Talking about security, INEC attributes great importance to the conduct of election in a secure and peaceful environment. In furtherance of this commitment, INEC has undertaken comprehensive training programs for electoral officers, assistant electoral officers, and senior management staff on election risk management. Furthermore, the Commission has deployed advanced methodologies and tools for election risk assessment. We have other tools, but they are not exhaustive. I'll just mention a few. We have embarked on ground truthing exercise to identify, assess, and map electoral risk factors across all the local governments and registration areas in Osun State, so that we can have evidence-based intelligence to support strategic planning, targeted interventions, and informed operational decision-making throughout the electoral process. We have what we call INEC Security and Alert Notification System, INEC SANS, Election Violence Mitigation Advocacy Tool, IVMAT, and we have also identified flashpoints and difficult terrains. We have engaged with security and community leaders, youth and student union leaders on the importance of peace before, during, and after election, as well as the need for them to shun violence. We have engaged with women as well and persons with disabilities. The Commission maintains a robust and enduring partnership with security agencies through the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security, we call it EPSS, and this collaborative framework, through this collaborative framework, comprehensive measures have been put in place to prevent, mitigate, and respond effectively to potential security threats before, during, and after the election. In addition, as you are all aware, the DIG supervising Southwest and the Inspector General of Police and the Commissioner of Police have held different strategic peace meetings against violence ahead of the election. And I think we can feel the impact of that meeting. The Commission's message to political actors this morning, as well as the electorate, is choose issue-based campaign rather than intimidation, inflammatory rhetorics, hate speeches, and misinformation that incites religious, ethnic, and tribal divisions. There is a lot of disinformation and misinformation in the public domain, especially against INEC, against the issue of permanent voters card that we have not seen here. We hear that they are in my office and they are in different places. We are busy issuing things. There's so many misinformation in the public domain, and we need to counter them. Another message I have today: political differences. Our political actors should understand that political differences should not translate into personal hatred or violence, and that no political ambition is worth the blood of any citizen of Osun State or any Nigerian. We should educate political parties, and their candidates should educate their supporters and followers that victory should be celebrated with humility, while disappointment should be managed within the confines of the law. Religious and traditional rulers, our royal fathers, we urge you to continue serving as a voice of conscience and peace in our communities. We know that you know how to touch the conscience of the citizens in your communities. Stakeholders should respect the law and electoral process. On this note, I would like to inform this gathering on INEC's level of preparedness for the upcoming governorship election. Osun State INEC we are fully aware and committed to our mandate to deliver free, fair, credible, inclusive, and transparent election that actually reflects the will of the people of Osun State. It is both appropriate and pertinent to provide this gathering with an overview of the Commission's level of preparedness for the forthcoming election. I will highlight the strategic measures, operational milestones, and institutional arrangements which were put in place to ensure the successful conduct of this election. If we look at the timetable for election, it has 13 activities. And out of these 13 activities, 10 have been achieved. Last week, Thursday, we presented the register of voters to political parties. And under the timetable, it ought to have been 22nd of July. But INEC, in its proactiveness, if we finish our work ahead of time, why not? The certificate was this register was presented on 9th, and it has the names of all registered voters that existed before the conduct of the CVR and those that registered during the CVR. We have just 3 pending activities, which is the campaign that is ongoing, the publication of notice of poll, and the conduct of its election itself. I'll speak briefly on the CVR that was conducted from August 2025 to May 2026. We conducted this CVR so that those who have attained the age of 18 can have the opportunity to register, and all Nigerians in Osun State that could not register previously. Also, those who lost their cards or damaged their cards, those who want to transfer, and also those who had problem with their accreditation during the last election. We also used that opportunity to distribute uncollected permanent voters card. This was done simultaneously. Prior to the CVR, Osun State had 1,954,800 registered voters. And after the successful conclusion of the CVR, we now have 2,339,233 registered voters. This remarkable increase reflects the sustained effort of INEC to broaden electoral participation and ensure that all citizens are afforded the opportunity to exercise their constitutional rights. I will go into a few details about the CVR. After the general registration during the CVR, we had 381,817 fresh registrants. But you know, we have our own process. We'll go and check it through the ABs to make sure there's no double registration. And in the course of checking, we found 30,639 duplicates. These duplicates, 23,068 out of them are those people who registered twice during the CVR. Somebody will register in Orolu and jump to Olorunda again to go and register. But our system is foolproof. It will pick them out. We also discovered that we had 7,571 old registered voters that despite all the voter education still went ahead to register again. So those ones were taken out. They are 30,639. We had 26,202 voters transferring into Osun State and 7,125 transferring out of Osun State. Most of the registered voters are female. They represent 52.79% of the voters, registered voters, and male is 47.21%. A large percentage of the registered voters are between the ages of 18 to 34. They represent 36.64% of registered voters. The CVR gave opportunities to persons with disabilities to vote, to register, and we were able to register 8,021 persons with disabilities. On voter education, we recognize the importance of voter participation in election and the need to address voter apathy. The Commission has sustained collaboration with critical stakeholders to ensure effective participation of the electorate. And we deployed multiple media channels, including radio, television, social media, street show, market outreaches, stakeholders meeting, visit to traditional rulers, engagement with faith-based organizations and community leaders, town hall meetings to reach diverse groups. Our jingles, our videos are being heard on a daily basis. We are currently sponsoring also a 30-minute program in different stations. We have conducted strategic and inclusive sensitization activities targeting marginalized groups, women, youth, and persons with disabilities. And we have also been relating with non-governmental organizations. About 30 of them are going to be deployed to the local governments this week to continue the sensitization process. In a bid to have a very inclusive election, we are deploying magnifying glasses, braille ballot guides, and we are giving priority to persons with disabilities on election day, as well as the elderly and nursing mothers. We understand the need to have good media coverage. Without the media, what we are doing cannot get to the public, and we need good coverage of our activities. INEC has opened a media accreditation portal for the governorship election. It was opened on 2nd June and it will close on 2nd of August. We encourage all qualified media organizations that intend to cover the election to complete the accreditation process within the stipulated time to enable them cover the election. We have been engaging with critical stakeholders, political parties, the media, and CSO. On our operational activities, we have a number of pre-election activities which we have been executing to ensure that we are able to deliver on our mandate. We are currently recruiting ad hoc staff. The portal opened on 27th June and it will close on 18th July. Qualified applicants will be shortlisted from the INEC press, and the focus of the recruitment is competence, neutrality, integrity, and professionalism. All eligible persons are advised to apply. We have carried out a lot of trainings, and on our own, we used our initiative. Before the normal training, we went into the NYSC camp, and we scheduled a training for 8 weeks. We call it route training, so that we have trained them ahead of the normal training for the election. We have concluded this training last week, and it has been very fruitful. We have trained our EOs, we have trained women, we have trained young people, and we have also received training sponsored by our development partners on management of crisis, fact-checking, and proactive public engagement. We have all our training for our ad hoc staff. We have started today, and these trainings will continue till 7th of August. In Osun State, we recognize Osun State INEC that the success of any election is the quick and fast deployment of men and material to polling units on election day. Early opening of poll is sacrosanct. It is not negotiable. And that's one of the reasons why INEC is using super racks and racks to camp ad hoc staff on the eve of election, so that nobody will say something delayed me from getting to my polling unit on time. And what do we do in these racks? We camp them there, we do refresher training, they check through their materials, and they have security, they have transport, so that they will be able to open polls early. I am trusting God that by special grace in Osun State, come 15th of November, we will wait for voters. Voters will not wait for us. Thank you. As regards sensitive materials, we have received, non-sensitive materials, we have received 95% of our materials. We have done the needful. They are in the local governments, and they are safely kept. Our sensitive materials will come on the week of election, and we promise that they will be adequately deployed to local governments in the right quantity and on time. Regarding transportation, you know, there are some aspects of this work that is not totally within our control. Just as you talk about security, we are not the police, we are not security agencies, we will only collaborate. The same thing goes with transport. Yes, we pay, whoever pays the piper dictates the tune. But at the same time, we need to have good collaboration with transport organizations so that our men and material will be transported at the right time. We have held several engagements with them, and they have given us assurance that we will receive vehicles in the right quantity and they will be dispatched on time. All those vehicles will be inspected by the Federal Road Safety Corps before the election, and they have promised to establish a situation room for us so that we can quickly contact them before, during, and after election in case there is any problem with any of their drivers. And on their own, after meeting with us, they were inspired and they decided to have a training for all their officials. They even invited INEC to provide facilitators at that training. And I tell you, the training was very fruitful. It was held on 22nd of June. Regarding bimodal voter accreditation system, this is what we use to authenticate and accredit voters on election day. INEC Osun State will be deploying 3,763 BVAS devices to the polling units for voter accreditation and to ensure that only registered voters with permanent voters card vote on election day. In addition to accreditation, this BVAS is used to upload polling unit results directly to INEC results viewing portal, what we call IREV. And this is one of the steps INEC has taken to make election more transparent. I need to tell this gathering, INEC result viewing portal is just a result viewing portal. Just like when I snap this and I write figures on it and I post it, it cannot total itself. It's just a result viewing portal. It is not a tallying portal. So for some persons have misconception that immediately you post the result, it will start totaling the result. result. That is not true. It's just a picture and it's a viewing portal. The beavers that we have, they are all charged. We have enough backup in case anyone malfunctions, but we do not think it should. We are engaging one registration area technical support staff for each registration area. And under each registration area, there are just a few polling units. So if there's any technical issue, the presiding officer will call the RATEC so that they will quickly attend to them. I want to state categorically here that nobody in Osun State can vote without permanent voter's card. And I want to discourage people, the vote buyers and the vote sellers. Every voter should know that when you sell your vote, you sell your future. When you sell your vote, you cannot hold your leaders accountable. You put yourself in slavery for the next 4 years over peanuts. And for the vote buyers, it is better to engage in issue-based campaign, sell yourself to the electorate rather than buy their conscience. In addition, vote buying and vote selling, they are both offenses under the Electoral Act. And the ICPC and EFCC, they are already on ground. They have started their work, and they told us they are already in the nooks and corners of the state. So if they catch anybody engaging in vote buying or selling of votes, they will have their self to blame. My message to other key stakeholders and political parties should educate their supporters. They should mobilize their supporters. Candidates should reject violence. Community leaders should preach peace. Reverend traditional rulers must promote dialogue and engagement within their communities. Our religious leaders must speak against violence. The media must report responsibly. Civil societies must continue to mobilize citizens peacefully. Permit me at this point to reiterate that peaceful elections, they don't occur by chance. It is not an issue of chance or normalcy. They are a product of deliberate planning, effective collaboration, professional conduct, and unwavering commitment of all stakeholders to uphold the rule of the law. Security agencies should remain steadfast in their constitutional responsibilities by maintaining the highest level of professionalism, neutrality, discipline, and respect for the rights of citizens. Let this summit not mark the mere exchange of ideas, but the renewal of our collective commitment to ensuring that 15th August 2026 Osun State governorship election becomes a model of electoral peace, security, and democratic excellence in Nigeria. Our doors are constantly open for your advice and strategic recommendations. Your professional insights remain invaluable to the success of our preparations and operations. Let me at this point state that the success of any electoral activity extends beyond INEC alone. It demands the robust collaboration from all stakeholders. I wish to reaffirm INEC's commitment to transparency, professionalism, neutrality, inclusivity, and delivering an election that is free, fair, credible, inclusive, transparent, reflecting the will of the people of Osun State. We shall continue to work closely with security agencies and all stakeholders to ensure that every eligible voter cast their vote in an atmosphere of safety, dignity, and confidence. Together, we shall deliver a free, fair, credible, inclusive, transparent, and peaceful election in Osun State. Thank you for your commitment and service to Nigeria.
Please, if you're doing that, please let's do it one more time for her. Thank you, Honorable Rec, for that comprehensive, detailed, exhaustive state of readiness of INEC and the operational focus for Osun 2026. It was actually a deliberate act that the Rec, we said the Rec should do this because we understand, the understanding we have is that election security is not just about the gallant officers in uniform. It also has a lot to do with every one of us, most especially with the operation and the preparedness, operational readiness and preparedness of INEC, which is very important. I have seen a polling unit where I was, and voting material didn't arrive early. There was agitation, and they were really waiting for the ad hoc staff to come. And the question is, where did they go to? All right. Thank you so much, Honorable Rec, for that. And at this point, what we want to listen to is actually the pre-election assessment, the pre-election risk assessment and early warning outlook of Kimpact Development Initiative. I have it on good authority that Kimpact Development Initiative as an organization has deployed what it called the Nigeria Election Violence Education and Resolution Framework since October 2025. That is close to about 8 months now in the state. Tracking at the community level, what are the risk actors, factors, and actions that could cause violence. And at this point, it is the insight that we want to listen to see the state of things in Osun before we now have our fathers speak to us. At this point, I'm bringing no other person other than the Executive Director of Kimpact Development Initiative, no other person other than Bukola Idowu. Thank you so much. Please do it better. Please do it better. Please do it better. Don't worry, I'll come back to tell you why.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Osun State, ably represented, our revered royal fathers, the Chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission, ably represented by the National Commissioner, the Honorable Rec, the Inspector General of Police, ably represented by the DIG, the Commissioner of Police, the AIG, the State Director of DSS, the Commandant, the Nigerian Army, and other security agencies, chairmen of political parties, religious leaders, the Christian Association of Nigeria, the Grand Imam of Osun State, all governorship candidates present, civil society organization, student bodies, the State Peace Mediation Working Committee, gentlemen of the press, the UK Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, National Endowment for Democracy, and other development partners here present. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please, I want you to take a few minutes to just listen to my presentation as we prepare going to the last lap of this event. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, here in the hall, and to all joining us on Channels Television and Rave FM, Western Spring Television, across Nigeria and the world, I say again on behalf of Kimpact Development Initiative, welcome to the Osun 2026 Election, Peace and Security Summit. We are gathered today in Osogbo for a purpose that is bigger than any political parties, bigger than any candidates, bigger than any campaign, and bigger than any single election. We are gathered to protect the peace of Osun State, to protect the dignity of the voter, and to protect the democratic future that belongs to our children. The topic before us is simple, but it carries the weight of history, that is safeguarding the 2026 Osun governorship election, a stakeholder's commitment to peace and security. Permit me to say this is not only a speech, it is an appeal on behalf of young people of Osun State, on behalf of civil society, on behalf of well-wishers and citizens of Osun State. It is an appeal. It is also a warning. It is also a prayer. And it is a commitment we must make together before the world watching us today. That Osun will choose democracy without fear, politics without violence, competition without hatred, and victory without bloodshed. Let me begin with the truth that should guide every person in this hall. Elections are meant to count votes and not bodies. Elections are meant to settle political disagreement through the ballot, not through bullets, not through machetes, not through intimidation, burning of houses, adoption of fear. When politics become violent, nobody truly wins. The winner inherits a wounded society. The loser inherits bitterness. The citizen inherits fear. The state inherits distrust. And democracy itself becomes weaker. Osun is a proud state. It's a state of culture, history, faith, learning, enterprise, and courage. Osun is home to communities that carries memory of Yoruba civilization and the promise of modern democratic governance. From Ile-Ife to Ilesha, from Iwo to Ikire, from Osogbo to Ede, from Ila to Ipetumodu. This land deserves an election that reflects its dignity, not the one that diminishes it. That is why our gathering today is urgent. Before we choose who we govern, we must first choose how we live together. Before politics is peace. Before power is humanity. And before political party is Osun State. And before ambition, there is life. At Kimpa Development Initiative, we do not come to this summit with rumors. We came with evidence of our electoral security risk assessment. This evidence is not used to accuse any political party or individual. It should be used as a mirror and early warning. The value of warning is not to predict doom, but is to prevent it. The assessment shows that in the last 12 months window, Osun has recorded 56 election-related violence incidents, compared with 26 non-election incidents. It also recorded 14 fatalities, 14 human beings, 14 dreams, 14 hopes of our states. Fatality linked to election-related incident, which is 65%, occurred in May and June 2026. alone as campaign intensified. This tells us something important. The security problem in Osun is not a general collapse of order. It is an election-specific pressure we are putting on ourselves. It is tied to campaigns, political mobilization, political ambition, stronghold, routes, party offices, symbolic communities, and the contest for advantage. What this means is that it can be prevented if, only if, we act early, act fairly, and act together. The anatomy of violence is also clear. It comes in recurring forms: physical assault, shooting, killings, destruction of properties, intimidation and harassment, killing and verbal attacks. You are coming into the Osun, you begin to see billboard destroyed, property, billboard destroyed, campaign poster destroyed. These are not abstract categories. Behind every assault is a body. Behind every shooting is a family. Behind every act of intimidation is a citizen who may decide not to vote. Behind every destroyed property is a community reminded that politics can burn down what ordinary people spend years to build. Politics can burn down what we spend years to build. For those of us in this room who have witnessed military rule, who have witnessed when we were not in democracy, some people gave their blood for this democracy we are practicing today. And when people are frightened away from the polling unit, democracy is robbed before the ballot is even counted. The data also show a painful irony. Political talks account for the largest share of recorded attack, which is 38 out of the 56 recorded. But party members and supporters are also the largest group of victims, followed by security personnel, civilian, and party officials. I'm talking about the victims. In other words, the same political ecosystem that sometimes produces violence is also the first to suffer from it. To our party chairmen, candidates, and campaign managers, this is why peace is not a favor you do for your opponent. Peace is self-preservation. The person attacked today may be a supporter of one party. Tomorrow, it may be your own agent, your own canvasser, your own ward coordinator, your own son, or your own daughter. Violence, let me say, violence is a fire which no one can control where the smoke goes. We must be honest. No credible election can be built on fear. No democratic mandate is strengthened by intimidation. A vote collected through fear is not a mandate. It is a wound. A victory won by suppressing another community is not leadership. It is a crisis that is postponed. The geographic concentration of the incident is another warning. Osogbo alone accounts for 23 out of 56 incidents and 9 out of 14 fatalities. That means the state capital carries 41% of recorded incidents and 64% of fatalities. If Osogbo is calm, Osun breathes easier. And if Osogbo is inflamed, the whole state will feel it. But we must not make the mistake of thinking only Oshogbo matters. The assessment shows a deadly long tail in other local government areas, including Oriade, Irepodun, Irewole, Iwo, and Obokun, where a single or limited number of incidents still produce fatality. INEC has also come out to identify flashpoints, about 300 flashpoints in Osun State. If INEC can identify 300 flashpoints in Osun State, technically, what we are saying, if Osun State have 332 wards, what we are saying is an average of 1 flashpoint per ward. That is technically covering the entire state. Therefore, our peace strategy must be both focused and statewide. Concentrate where the risk is higher, but never abandon the places where one spark can still become a tragedy. Violence is becoming strategic, and that is why peace must also be strategic. One of the most important findings is that violence in Osun State is becoming strategic. 95% of key informants interview we did, describe election-related violence as concentrated around political stronghold, campaign route, party offices, and symbolic community, rather than random across the state. This means the purpose of violence is not often to injure an opponent. Listen, the purpose of violence is not only to injure an opponent, it is also to shape the election. Studies have shown that violence is another form of rigging, because you create fear in the heart of the people. It is used to depress turnout in opponent's stronghold, frighten party agents, scare voters, restrict candidate movement, and control campaign routes. So the operational question for security agencies is not only where has violence happened before. The question must now be to our dear security agency, where would violence give someone electoral advantage? If we protect these places early, we must remove the reward for violence. If violence no longer produces advantage, its sponsors will lose their incentives. Distinguished participants, there is a form of violence that does not always leave blood on the ground, but it damages democracy deeply. That violence is fear. Fear is what makes a woman say, I will not go to the rally. Fear is what makes a young person remove party colors before entering a community. Fear is what makes a polling agent withdraw from service. Fear is what makes a voter stay at home and later say, my vote doesn't matter because my safety comes first. Our assessment shows that citizens are already changing behavior because they expect violence. They avoid campaign rallies, they refuse evening political meetings, they limit campaign movements, they hide political affiliation. Some become reluctant to serve as polling agents. Some become reluctant to serve as election day observers. This is voter suppression before election day. This is an election being influenced before a single ballot is cast. Let me say this clearly. A peaceful election is not an election where nobody is killed, but it's an election where nobody is afraid to participate. Let me appeal to the candidates of all 14 political parties and the chairmen of your parties. Today, Osun is watching you. Nigeria is watching you. The world is watching you. But more importantly, your supporters are watching your tone, your body language, your restraint, your courage, and your maturity. Leadership is not only shown in how you pursue victory. Leadership is also shown in how you restrain your followers. A candidate who cannot calm his supporters before election may struggle to govern the citizen after election. A party leader who excuses violence because his favor his side today is preparing a danger that may consume his side tomorrow. This election must be a contest of ideas, records, programs, competence, vision, and service. It must not be a contest of talk, cult groups, weapons, intimidation, misinformation, or fear. Campaign should persuade and not threaten. Rally should mobilize and not terrorize. Party agents should protect votes, not provoke violence. Supporters should defend ideas, not attack fellow citizens. Democracy is built on sportsmanship. In sports, people compete strongly, but they respect the rules, the referee, the opponent, and the final whistle. Politics must learn from that. One person will win, others will not. But every candidate must leave the field with dignity, because the future may still call them to serve. This election will not be our last. Losing an election is not the end of public life, but destroying peace can destroy the very society you hope to govern. No ambition is worth a life. No victory is worth the peace of Osun. I repeat, no victory is worth the peace of Osun. When we were young in Osun, Osun prided itself as the most peaceful state. But I repeat, no victory is worth the peace of Osun. No office is valuable enough to create widows. People have been killed and their wives become widows, all because of election. No office is valuable enough to create widows, orphans, injured youth, burnt homes, or community divided by hatred. Let me appeal to young people, to the supporters, especially the young people. Do not allow anyone to rent your life for one election. How much are they going to pay you? Do not become a weapon in the hand of someone whose children are safe at home, in school, or abroad, or protected by private security. Do not die for a politician who will later shake hands with the same opponent you were asked to attack. The assessment reminds us that politicians do not always build violent network from the scratch. They often activate existing structure like cult groups, unemployed youth network, and factional unions. My appeal is direct. Refuse to be activated for violence. Refuse to be used. Refuse to carry the burden of another person's ambition. Your future is bigger than election day money. Your life is bigger than party color. Your name is bigger than a violent errand. If anyone gives you money to attack, intimidate, burn, adopt, or kill, they are not empowering you. They are only reducing you to a disposable item. Say no. If you have seen anybody that have killed and maimed for any politician, and after the election, the person is compensated with a commissionership or as a minister, show me one. They know where your capacity is. That when they are talking about anything intellectual, they won't bring you inside that place. Vote, campaign, debate, organize, monitor, report. but do not destroy, do not threaten, do not attack, do not kill. Let your generation be remembered as the generation that protected Osun democracy, not the generation that sold it to violence. Let me quickly appeal to the security agencies, to the Nigerian police, DSS, civil defense, Nigerian army, and all security agencies represented here today. Osun needs your professionalism, your neutrality, restraint and courage, your presence. Your presence can calm a community, but only if community believes you are fair. Neutrality is not a public relations slogan, it is an operational necessity. It is called Nigerian Army, Nigerian Police for a reason, not APC, PDP, Accord, or any political party, police, or army. It is Nigerian Army. It is Nigerian Police. Therefore, the security task is not only to respond after a clash, it is to break the chain before violence begins. Deploy early, deploy neutrally, protect all parties, protect all voters, protect party offices, campaign routes, local government facility, collation center, community with known pressure. Be seen speaking with all sides, not one side. Be transparent in command decision. Correct false claim quickly. And where there is a violence actor, preempt them lawfully and decisively. As I'm told to round off, let me just quickly appeal to INEC. To INEC, credibility is also a security. Please note that when materials arrive late, rumors arrive early. When communication is silent, misinformation becomes loud. When citizens do not understand what is happening, suspicions fill the gap. Early deployment from RAC, clear movement plan, material tracking, contingent planning, and proactive public communication will do more than deliver an election. Thank you so much, Honorable Rec, for assuring the citizen of Osun this morning in your speech about the readiness of the Commission to conduct credible election come August 15. Most importantly, according to the National Chairman, conclusive election. Our royal fathers and traditional institutions, this state listening to you, sir, in ways they may not listen to government, in ways they may not listen to party or security agency. Your works can reduce temperature before the police arrive. Your palace can be a place of mediation before the court is approached. Your moral authority can stop a rumor before it becomes a crowd. We ask you to lead social repression of conflict. Call your sons, call your daughter to order, convey community dialogue, engage youth leaders, speak against violence, publicly and privately, and stand as a trusted referee in your community, in place where social and communal pressure is high. Your role is not ceremonial, your role is essential. Please, the media, to the media, online influencer, radio presenter, bloggers, and all who shape public information, in this election, your microphone can either prevent violence or provoke it. Words are not neutral. Headlines can calm or inflame. A rumor repeated without verification can become a crowd on the street. To the citizen, as I close, to the electorate of Osun State, this election belongs to you, not to thugs, not to rumor merchants, not to those who want to frighten you away. Your vote is your voice. Your peace is your power. Your participation is your right. Do not sell that vote. Do not sell your conscience. Do not sell the safety of your community. Reject violence. Reject inducement. Reject hate speech. Reject fake news. verify information, report threats, encourage your neighbors to participate peacefully. On election day, go out with courage, vote with dignity, return home peacefully, and allow the process to continue. A credible election is not produced by INEC alone, but it is produced by institutions, political party candidates, security agencies, citizens, media, civil society. Is this a signal that I should leave? So today, before the campaign become, and to all of us, let us remember that power is temporary, but the consequence of violence can last for a generation. A governor will serve for a term, or at most 2. A party may win a circle, but the peace of Osun State must outlive every administration, every candidate, and every election. So today, before the campaign becomes louder, before the temperature rises, before election day arrives, let us say it with one voice. No ambition is worth a life, and no victory is worth a grave. No mandate is legitimate if the citizens are afraid. No party is greater than the peace, and no candidate is greater than Osun State. As I was preparing this, it occurred to me that today is not just an ordinary date in Osun democratic history. Exactly 4 years ago, on July 13, 2022, representatives of political party gathered in Osogbo here under the auspices of National Peace Committee and signed a peace accord 4 years ago, July 13. 4 years ago. We sign it every election. And sign a peace accord ahead of the governorship election held 3 days later. Election was held July 16. They committed themselves to peaceful conduct and to an electoral process in which citizens could participate without fear. 4 years later, history has returned to us the same date, the same city. Our task is no longer merely to promise peace, but to practice it. Through our campaign, security operation, reporting, voting, and response to outcome, let July 13, 2026 be remembered as the day Osun renew his commitment with peace, his covenant with peace. Let us prove that political competition can be fierce without becoming fatal, and that no office, party, or candidate is greater than the life and peace of Osun State. May the 2026 Osun governorship election be remembered not for violence, but for maturity, not for fear, but for participation, not for bitterness, but for sportsmanship, not for intimidation, but for credible choice, not for bloodshed, but for balance. May peace come before politics. May Osun come before your party. May democracy come before desperation. And may the people of Osun win, no matter who wins the election. Thank you. God bless Osun State. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Please, I think the key word is no ambition of anybody worth the life of Osun people. And I think we need to take that home, which is very key and very important. At this point, which is the key part of this meeting, is to hear from our fathers. I think, first of all, please respectfully, everyone, if we if your hands are not busy, please put your hands together for His Royal Highness, His Royal Majesty Oba Didokun Omoniyi Abolare Arekeye II. Sir, is the other segment, sir? Not. Please, let's put our hands together for him. So, Baba is coming, not for another speech.
Please, I don't think I have anything to say again. The DIG, the representative of, they've all spoken. My father, the owner of Ife, has spoken. That all we are interested in Osun State is to have a peaceful and credible election. And the Electoral Commissioner has dutifully given us guarantee that we should not be scared of having a conclusive election. Thank you. God bless the state. God bless Nigeria.
Please, a round of applause for His Royal Majesty again. A round of applause for His Royal Majesty. Thank you. At this point, we'll just be hearing from the stakeholders, the political class. At this point, a lot have been said. It's also very important to hear from them. I know that
Thank you very much. We have come to, if you check the agenda, I think we are just at the stakeholder call to action. Those parts of the last thing we will be doing. And what we want to do now is to have commitment from stakeholder and representative. And I think we have some political parties and the governorship candidates here. We are happy that you are here. It shows your commitment to the peace of Osun that we have seen. So we just want to hear from you and then get your commitment. What you just in 2 minutes make your commitment, your open declaration, and then we go in that order. We're going to call the candidate of AAC. Thank you so much for coming. Can we give you? Thank you. Thank you. It's good. Please, you can come over. Thank you.
I would like to stand on the existing protocol. Distinguished leaders, gentlemen, leaders of INEC, security agencies, political parties, fellow citizens, I welcome you to this program. What I would just say first of all is that in the absence of vision, perversion reigns. What we are experiencing today is perversion disguised as leadership. Our society is deficient of true leadership, and it's high time we come together as one to liberate ourselves, to put our society on the right direction. As the candidate of African National Congress, I stand firmly for peaceful, credible, and transparent election. To protect our sanctity and the sanctity of every citizen, we have to, play important role to discourage the issue of vote buying and electoral frauds. I would like to make the following urgent demands to INEC, and the number one is mandatory phone deposit policy. Voters must be required to surrender their mobile phones to electoral officers immediately after collecting their ballot papers. Phones should not be allowed at voting booths because this will prevent the issue of vote buying, and it's just a way of confirming to vote buyers that they have done their job. And the second recommendation is that we want INEC to invest more in voters' education because it is very important. This needs to be done on radio station every week to let the voters understand the implication and the danger of voting for career politicians and career politicians who have no interest in leading people on the right direction.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I'm rounding up. So it is high time we see leadership beyond how fat your bank account is or how much capacity you have to commit crime without being questioned. We need to see leadership beyond how much you have to be structure of criminality across police.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, with the kind permission of the Grand Imam, Sheikh Musa Muhammad Rabi Animashaun, who has sent his passionate greeting to all the invitees, the dignitaries, the KBACs, our Mamarek, and the security outfits. The Grand Imam is so concerned with the peace in Osun State. Not today alone, but before, the Grand Imam has ordered the 31 local government leading imam in our various local government in Osun State. He has ordered the 10,000 daily prayer imams. He has ordered 2,000 leading Jumat imam in Osun State to go back to their various dominion to go and preach and order the Muslim who are the lovers of peace in this state to maintain peace during the election and after the election. And the Grand Imam is praying fervently every day that this coming election will come in peace. The election will go back in peace, and the people of Osun State will live in peace after the election. Wassalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. A round of applause for him. A round of applause. A round of applause. Just as we round off and then go to the last item, I would also like to call Dr. Oluseyi Atonda, the President, Traditional Religious Worship. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Standing on existing protocol, on behalf of the Traditional Religion Worshippers Association of Osun State, we are committed to the process of peace and we enjoin all. Permit me to also register that in accordance with that, the collective Traditional Religion Worshippers of Osun State undertook a divination for this state on the 30th of June. And on the 7th of July, the findings of IFA were made public. And I would also want to congratulate KDI that because IFA brought it out of the bag and KDI confirmed it. IFA says in Odi on the right or Yeku on the left that the spate of violence for this election, if we are not careful, will be unprecedented. The spate of violence for this election, if we are not careful, will be unprecedented. And KDI said 45. An election is still over 1 month to go. So this is like a wake-up call. IFA has enjoined all governorship candidates to embrace peace, that Osun is larger than any one of them.
All right.
IFA has also sent us to 2 other groups of people. IFA says all religious leaders and our royal fathers should take it upon themselves to start telling each and every candidate that they should do away with violence. None of them is exonerated.
Thank you.
But we can all come together and say no to violence. And we have been doing that. And I join my Christian brother, my Muslim brothers, they have also said that as we say it in the open, please let us also say it when they meet us at the altar.
Thank
that the life of Osun people is not worth killing.
All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And I think before I call the next 2, I want our father to cap this up. Please take the microphone to him. Chief Ifayemi Elebuibo, the Araba. I'm sorry, Chief Ifayemi Elebuibo. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. We just want you to.
I thank you all. I greet everyone. My greeting to our KBNC and organization of this event. We all appeal to our Olushelu to be calm and make election peaceful. Ẹ̀yin òṣèlú, èrò tí ń lọ sígbó òṣèlú, mo fojú bàjá kólókòló, bèbè yín odò, bèbè ọ̀hún odò, má jẹ́ àdójú ìjà kọra wa. Èrò tí ń lọ sígbó òṣèlú, mo fojú bàjá kólókòló. Ẹ̀yin òbí ẹ kìlọ̀ fọ́mọ yín o, ọmọ tó bá ya garawa ẹ̀wọ̀n ní lọ. Ẹ̀yin òbí ẹ kìlọ̀ fọ́mọ yín o, ọmọ tó bá ya garawa ẹ̀wọ̀n ní lọ. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The candidates of ADC sent his apology, but he sent someone to represent him. Just take the microphone to him, and that is the ADC campaign spokesperson, and that talks about their commitment also to peace. Thank you so much, ADC.
Thank you so much. My name is Honorable Nurin Adebisi, standing for the candidate of African Democratic Congress, Right Honorable Najim Falashayo Salam. I'm standing on the existing protocol, and while doing that, I want to commend the organizers of this program, and I want to appreciate our royal fathers, the security agencies, and all the stakeholders present here. Yeah, on the theme of this summit, I want to say, and I think the public can bear me witness that as far as we are concerned in African Democratic Congress, since the commencement of the campaigns, we have been to like 22 local governments as of today. There has been no incident of violence in one way or the other whatsoever on our own side. And that is a proof of our own commitment, which we are still emphasizing before the public. That is proof of our own commitment that as far as we are concerned, we are committed to peaceful process. We are committed to peaceful election. Election is a process before, during, and after. So we are still saying this. We are committed to the peaceful process before, during the election, and after the election.
Thank you.
However, I want to say this because as good as this initiative is, I must point this to you, the organizers. We were here, and in compliance with the arrangement made here, as I came in, the first thing I did was to look for where we, the candidates, were seated. And quietly, I have to do that. But surprisingly, when a candidate of a party is coming, representative of a candidate is coming, he was accorded a preferential treatment. I must let you know that, and that, the implication of that is, are we saying this arrangement, the process, is the fairness part of it is not being compromised? I think there's need to call your attention to that.
Thank you.
There was a pre-arrangement before he came in, because we have to take note of that, and in the process, he was given a kind of a preferential treatment. That should not repeat itself.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Apologies for that. I think I take responsibility. It was just few logistic issue. Probably the protocol people may not recognize them, but apologies. So quickly, before we call, if you check the agenda, the governor in his capacity will give the closing address as in his capacity as the governor. But before then, let's just hear from the APC candidate, ably represented too. Am I right? Is that okay? Not here. All right. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry about that. Apologies. The deputy governorship candidate of APC. Thank you so much for us coming.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor here to represent the governorship candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Asiwaju Munurudeen Bola Oyebanji. My name is Aderiti Benjamin. I'm the deputy governorship candidate of the All Progressive Congress. I greet my father, the royal father, and His Imperial Majesty, Oni Adeyeye Ogunwusi, the Ojaja II. I greet my KBACs and our leaders. And I'm also thanking the organizer of this program. I greet all other candidates seated or represented. I greet the military, the DIG, and every military represented here. I must thank you for your commitment to peace, and our presence here shows that we are all ready and we want peace in Osun State. On behalf of Asiwaju Munurudeen Bola Oyebanji, I make commitments to peace before, during, and after the August 15, 2026 election.
Thank you.
And I also encourage every political party, every participant to commit to peace, because the life of Osun citizens does not worth the votes of any politician. Our campaign commitment in APC is to implement a prosperity agenda. And for us to implement our prosperity agenda, it must be in an atmosphere of peace. We have committed and we have shown that our party is a peace-loving party that wants progress for Osun State. We are committed to this, and we will do everything possible to ensure that the election is peaceful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Just moving on and going to the last thing, the closing remark will be, if you check the agenda, the closing address will be delivered by the governor in his capacity as the governor, His Excellency, Senator Ademola Nuruddin Adeleke, the executive governor of Osun State, ably represented by Honorable B. Odulade. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Distinguished audience, I want to crave your indulgence to stand on the existing protocol. But certainly I must greet my fathers, the Oni of Ife, Baba Orangun, Okela, all other royal fathers, the security agents and other people. I must commend essentially the organizers of this program, the King Park Development Initiative. In fact, it's a long time I've had such a thought-provoking presentation, such an eloquent discussion, and a revolutionary engagement like that of the King Park, the representative. I was highly impressed, overwhelmed, and I commend the organizers. Apart from being organizers of this program, they have really shown us that they mean business. And I want to appeal that you should make the recording of that presentation well circulated amongst the media. This is an address by His Excellency, Senator Ademola Jackson Nuruddin Adeleke, Executive Governor of Osun, at this election Peace and Security Summit organized by Key Park Development Initiative, the Coalition of Civil Society Organizations and Osun State Peace and Mediation Committee, held on Monday, 13th July 2026. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before I proceed, I must show the commitment of our party, the Accord Party, to peaceful engagement before, during, and after the election. I need to do that before going to the speech. I'm delighted to join you at this timely and important Osun Election Peace and Security Summit. I sincerely appreciate the King Park Development Initiative, the Coalition of Civil Society Organizations, and the Osun State Peace and Mediation Working Committee for bringing together critical stakeholders to discuss how we can objectively and collectively safeguard peace before, during, and after the forthcoming governorship election of Osun State. Your commitment to promoting peaceful democratic participation is highly commendable. It demonstrates that democracy flourishes best when government, civil society, security agencies, political parties, traditional institutions, the media, and citizens work together in pursuit of the common goal. I assure you that the government of Osun State is ready to continue partnering with organizations in every practical way to ensure the success of the initiative and other efforts made at sustaining peaceful engagement across our dear state. Ladies and gentlemen, our state has in recent months witnessed disturbing incidents of politically motivated violence, which have sadly resulted in the loss of innocent lives and destruction of property. These unfortunate developments are alien to our values as a peaceful and accommodating people. Every life lost is one too many, and every act of violence diminishes our democracy. While these incidents have understandably generated concern among our people, I wish to assure our people, all residents and observers, that my administration has remained resolute in upholding the rule of law. Despite repeated provocations and deliberate attempts by some political actors to create tension and disrupt public peace, our government has exercised the highest level of restraint and responsibility. As governor, I have consistently maintained that no political ambition is worth the blood of any citizen. We have therefore resisted every temptation to abuse the powers of office or resort to unlawful measures against perceived political opponents. Instead, we have continued to work with security agencies and other relevant institutions within the confines of law to preserve peace and maintain public order. Our administrations remain firmly committed to ensuring that every eligible voter is free to exercise his or her own constitutional right without fear, intimidation, or harassment. We shall continue to provide the necessary support to security agencies while respecting their professional independence and constitutional responsibilities. I also wish to use this opportunity to call on all political parties, their candidates, supporters, and other stakeholders to conduct themselves with utmost decorum throughout the electioneering period. Elections should be contests of ideas and programs, not battles of violence and intimidation. Political differences must never translate into hatred or bloodshed. I equally urge civil society organizations, religious leaders, traditional rulers, community leaders, and the media to continue playing their invaluable roles as advocates of peace, tolerance, and responsible civic engagement. Together, we can prevent misinformation, reduce tensions, and build public confidence in the electoral process. Let me assure the people of Osun State that the administration will continue to do everything within law to guarantee peaceful exercise. I'm worried the INEC commissioner is not here. She's supposed to listen to us. We owe the responsibility to our citizens and to future generations. Our vision is to leave behind a democratic culture where elections are remembered for their credibility rather than violence. As we prepare for this important election, let us all reject violence, embrace dialogue, and place the interests of Osun people and the Osun State above every political consideration. History will competition, but by our collective commitment to preserving peace and strengthening democracy. Once again, I commend the organizers for this noble initiative and reaffirm the readiness of the government of Osun State to cooperate with all well-meaning organizations and stakeholders committed to peace, credible and transparent elections. Before I end this, I must also commend the efforts of IPAC because they have really cooperated with the electoral process in ensuring peaceful election. I pray that peace continues to reign in Osun and in our dear country, Nigeria. Thank you all, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, His Excellency. Thank you. Like I said from the beginning, that the goal of the event is for us to have a shared commitment towards peaceful participation and peaceful elections. At this point, what we're going to be doing is just to, which is the last part of this segment, to have a group photograph. So please join me, welcome the representative of the religious body. Please, as I'm calling them, please can we just come up? The religious body, Christian Association of Nigeria, representative of the Muslim community, that's the chief imam. Okay, the traditional worshippers. Thank you, please. Can we just give them a round of applause, please? Let's give them a round of applause. Okay. Up, sir. Please, up. Please also give a round of applause to all of the candidates, political party candidate present. Political party candidates present or represented. Please, let's come up for this group photograph. The development partners, our partners, FCDO, please let's come up for the group photograph. The service chiefs, DIG, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Our fathers. Our fathers, please let's join, please.